Hi again, it's Mariana. I want to talk to you about something that I've learned the last few years, and it has to do with letting go and trust. And when I mean trust, I don't mean like trusting in other people or yourself. I mean trusting the process when you want something, and you want something really from your heart, that one way or another will happen. And many years ago, when I read or heard about faith and trust, I thought that this is something that it's a bit unrealistic and something that people say when they just want to tell you something nice, you know. And because, I was raised, like most of us are raised, that if you want something, you have to work hard for it and you have to try. And which is true, you cannot you cannot just sit there and wait for it to fall from the sky. It is true, but you need the action. But there is a difference between inspired action and action that comes from fear. Basically, just because we are all raised in a society that is based on fear, we don't learn to trust. We don't learn to have faith. And I don't mean religious faith, or you can have it if you want, but I mean faith in knowing that you want what you want. Say that you want it from your heart, knowing that you want that. And then letting this thing go. And by letting it go, I mean that you trust and you know from your heart, you know that it will happen. You don't know how it will happen, but it will happen. And you don't know how and you don't know when, but you know it will happen. That's the kind of trust I mean. Now, again, this doesn't mean that you don't take action, but when you trust and you let this thing go, it's like an adventure. You just embrace this uncertainty because you don't know the house, but the house, I mean, not the house where we were staying, but I mean, you don't know how it will happen. But you're just going with the flow and everything that comes your way, let's say a course or studies or something that you hear from a conversation, something that you read somewhere, a trip, whatever. Then you grasp the opportunity because you feel it right, you allow yourself to be inspired, it feels right, it seems something that you want, and you start going on this journey. Then one thing leads to another, and it all comes from joy and inspiration and instinct. You trust your intuition. That kind of action is amazing because one thing leads to another, and two things can happen this way. You will either get what you want, or if you don't get exactly what you want, you will have something better. Now, the action, though, that comes from fear is when you see, let's say that you say, okay, again, I want what I want, and I know what I want, and I hope that it will happen. But let's say some time passes and you don't see that happening because you are either impatient or any other reason, and you start feeling despair, and you say, you know what, if it hasn't happened yet, then it will never happen. And you start taking action, wanting to control things because you don't trust. And in that way, it's like you're standing in front of the flow of energy. And you're standing there like an obstacle, like a wall between you and what you want. You don't allow things to unfold naturally and organically. And this doesn't allow things to be a combination of you're listening to your intuition and taking action, and then universe, spirit, higher self, whatever, call it what you want, doesn't matter, work with you to bring what your heart really wants. We use our mind a lot. And that's where fear comes from. We start analyzing because we think that in this way we will protect ourselves from fear. But it's a paradox because we are allowing fear to enter. Because we think in this way we will prevent fear from happening. So we have fear anyway. It's not like we do something to prevent fear. It's we use fear to prevent fear. It doesn't work. But when you are allowing something to happen and you're just starting using your intuition and instincts to take action, you are going with this flow. Because when you start wanting something, it's like a magnet. If it comes from the heart, it's like a magnet. The heart is a magnet itself. It cannot not happen. It can't. Somehow. I don't know how. It starts coming to you. Yeah. Took me long enough to understand this concept. Okay, I will just say one more thing, that because we're human and sometimes we want something so badly and it's difficult to just let go. We're going like, how am I going to let this go? You know, just focus on other things, just like that, and never think about this thing again, and just allow it to unfold. There are ways, and there are ways to basically, just because this, this thinking, it's the mind working again. So the way to calm down and be more patient and allow yourself not to think about the future that much is to be present here and now. And the thing that I've realized that works a lot with being in the present is meditation. Meditation can help you be in the present so much. Because come to think of it, it's always present. In reality, there's no time. Okay, so what happens is always now. So you have only now. When you do meditate, you just are 100% at your center and in the now. And this allows you to focus in the now. Not on your past, not in the future. It calms you down a lot. And it does not allow this fear of what will happen consume you. That's it. Bye, guys. I'll see you.